How's it going, my dudes? Welcome back to another Goddess of Genesis video. For today, we have some new heroes to look at. So we are behind the China server by 7 SSR heroes. So today I'm going to show you all their skills and how they look like and all that, and what I'm most excited for. We're going to explore whether are these heroes worth saving up for, so that at least you have an idea of whether you should spend your summons right now, or are you going to wait for the new hero to come around. Without further ado, let's take a look at the first one. We have Hestia over here. Hestia is a fire support that specializes in buffing attack as well as shielding your allies. So let's take a look at her skills real quick over here. Do take note that all these skills over here are probably not at maxed out star level, so just take this with a grain of salt. This is probably like what you get from the base. Looking at her talent over here, after each action adds a shield to the lowest HP ally. Well, the ally with the lowest HP equals to 250% of her magic attack. We don't know how high her magic attack is gonna be, but we know that this is going to be a little bit useful, not really game-changing, not really very strong in the end game per se, because of how AoE meta is going to be the king, but nonetheless, it is a free shield every single turn that she takes. So just like most fire-type heroes, her normal attack actually inflicts a burn as well, and then we move on to her first skill, increase the whole party's magic attack as well as your physical attack, excluding yourself, equal to Hestia's magic attack, just a portion of it, 35%. For 2 rounds, cannot be dispelled. And then her ultimate skill, restore the health of all allies equal to 130% plus 700 of Hestia's magic attack. If the target doesn't get healed, then the target gets a shield instead with the same amount. And finally, her support skill, increase the whole party's physical attack and magic attack, excluding yourself of course because you're a support, equal to 35% of her magic attack for 2 rounds. So she is definitely very heavy on buffs. She has both attack buffs as well as shields. So this will be like the first hero that actually comes with like a ton of actual useful support. And the thing is, Hestia's buffs actually scale off her own magic attack, so it could be a lot stronger than just a typical attack buff on its own. Furthermore, Hestia's buffs over here, they can stack with attack buffs, which means that you can actually further boost your attack. So this actually gives room for a lot of strategies on how you want to maximize your damage output. And because she is fire type, she's going to give you that 15% crit rate bonus if you complete 3 copies of the fire set. So she can be pretty useful depending on how far you are in the game. In fact, I think she's going to be really good for the early game, that's for sure. She will be able to supplement your Valkyrie's tank as well as your Lucifer's DPS. But in terms of like the end game, maybe she's okay. We still have to take a look at how fast she is. If she is really fast, then sure. Then I think she could be a really good option to like drop the buffs at the start, and then your team can just do a lot of damage after that. Should you save up your currencies for her? Should you save up your tarots for her? I would say I'm in the positive side. So let's move on to the next hero. Next on the lineup, we have Gaia, who is an Earth-type warrior who specializes in reacting to poison debuffs, okay? And her main focus is to destroy tanks, and I'll explain a little bit more over here. Her talent is really quite interesting, okay? Whenever any unit other than Gaia acts, Gaia will gain 1 Earth power, okay? So if she's present, she will get this little buff called an Earth power. I'll explain what it does, and each time the enemy gets inflicted by poison, Gaia will get another Earth power. So there is 2 things over here. One is when someone else other than Gaia acts, she will get Earth power. The other thing is when anyone poisons the enemy, she will get another stack of Earth power. But I think from what this video is showing us over here, whenever you drop a single poison debuff, she gets 1 stack of Earth power for every single drop of poison that's on the enemies. So that means that if you poison 5 targets, she's gonna get 5 stacks of it immediately. And what Earth power does is it increases your damage by 10%, stacking up to 5 layers. However, it disappears the moment you use an active skill. So it doesn't matter whether I think you use your normal attack or use your first skill or use your ultimate skill, it's gonna disappear. But I think it's gonna give you that huge bonus in your DPS. Her normal attack does 100% of her physical attack damage and inflicts 2 layers of poison on 1 single target. And let's take a look at her first skill, deals 140% of her physical attack damage to entire enemy lineup. All enemies are gonna get hit, inflicts 1 layer of poison on each of them, and has a 40% chance of casting Deadly Venom. I'm not sure what Deadly Venom is. I assume it's gonna be something new, just like how Earth Power is a new thing. And then we move on to her ultimate skill, deals 530% of physical attack damage to one single enemy, and for each layer of poison, you will ignore 3% of resilience and block. So a quick recap on what resilience and block do. Resilience reduces the critical chance of the enemy, and a successful block reduces the damage that you receive by 50%. So assuming that you have 5 stacks of poison on one single tank over here, they have 15% of their resilience reduced and 15% of their block reduced. I am not sure whether it is multiplicatively or additively, meaning that if the enemy has 150% resilience, are you going to reduce 15% resilience, or are you going to reduce something like 22.5% of their resilience? So that's the part that might make or break this hero. 15% could be a little bit low, especially in the end game, but if it's 22.5%, that's going to be decent, I guess. Not only that, with 5 stacks of poison, you're actually going to hit harder by 50% because of your talent. As such, you're effectively doing close to 800% of your physical attacking damage to one single enemy that actually reduces their resilience and their block as well. So what you're looking at is technically the most painful skill in the game at this point of time. Well, excluding the fact that Lilith exists. So this hero is going to be quite interesting. The way I'm going to place this hero is I think it's going to be superbly good for the early and mid game. For end game, not so much. It's not really because that she lacks proper AoE damage, because she does have AoE damage. However, the reason why I say so is because like if she's her main focus is going to be like a tank destroyer, technically you only care much about destroying tanks in the early and mid game, and she does have the kit that's necessary to reduce a small chunk of resilience and block, which is easy to override in the early and mid game. At the end game, it's not going to be that easy anymore, so she kind of falls short in that sector. Let's also not forget that she's very niche and she requires a setup before she can actually perform her function really well. But I am ready to eat my words when the time comes. Nonetheless, she still does a huge amount of damage and could be quite useful, okay, depending on whether her first skill actually has a cooldown or not. She could be useful in the end game. She is going to be definitely one of my first picks in the new hero lineups. I might save up for her. She does seem quite interesting. And let's move on to the next hero. Now this I am actually really excited for, okay, so this is Freya. She is a dark type mage. We finally have another mage that seems to be able to do as much damage as Merlin can do, but there is a catch to her, of course. Her specialty lies in sheer overpowering the enemy, and this will be a little bit more clear as I talk about her skills. Check out this talent of hers. For every unit killed, Freya's skill will deal an additional 30% magic attack damage. As soon as you start the snowball rolling, it's gonna roll and grow and grow. Then we look at a normal attack. It does 100% of a magic attacking damage and inflicts charm. Let's look at her skill. It's a passive over here, okay, so very similar to Merlin. This is a passive, just like Scryer. Before Freya uses an active skill to attack the enemy, release Curse state to the specified target. Okay, so what Curse does is when an allied friend is being damaged by a unit with Curse, the cursed target will take 30% of the damage he dealt to your friend as DOT for 2 rounds. So if you curse an enemy and the enemy does 100 damage to any of your allies, that target will take 30 damage over 2 rounds. So basically, when Freya uses her ultimate skill, which does 160% magic attack damage to every single enemy, you will land a curse debuff on every single one of them. So whenever they try to hit you, like if they have like a ton of DPSs, like if you have an Artemis or they have a whatever, it's gonna hurt a lot. Not instant reflect damage, but at least the damage is gonna come in due time. So I think she's gonna be quite exciting to use, okay, especially since she's a dark type, which means that she works towards the shadow bonus, which grants you an extra 20% DPS. That's a very, very meta set bonus for the endgame. Let's not forget that her ultimate also inflicts charm, which is gonna boost your Lilith's capabilities even further. So she's gonna be a super good combination to use with your Lilith. And assuming your Lilith goes first, takes out 1 or 2 of them, she is going to be super strong after that. So I can see warriors becoming more of a meta in the near future, especially with the release of Gaia and with the recent release of Mulan. And because warriors are generally a little bit more tanky than most DPSs in general, or the way you want to build your warriors are generally more tank than spank, they are very likely to survive a Lilith onslaught, and as such, this is where Freya comes in. She is the perfect cleanup crew. So I am definitely hanging on to hope that I'm gonna draw her. She seems to be a really good fit in a lot of endgame teams, to be honest. Like, she works really well with Artemis as well, because Artemis picks out weakened enemies, and as such, she's gonna benefit directly from that talent as well. So not a lot more to say here, because she is gonna be the next upcoming mage as well. So definitely a go for. Save your summons, this is a good one. So unfortunately, this is all the time we have left for today, but I will come up with part B of this two-part series that covers the new and upcoming SSR heroes. So I hope you would tune in to that as well. It's gonna be really exciting. We still have 4 more heroes to go, which I will cover in one single sitting. But with that said, that's the end of this video, guys. I hope it was informative in some sense. I hope you are hyped as much as I am. Leave a comment to let me know if you are excited about the new heroes or not. And with that, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you have not already done so. And as always, I will see you in the next video.